Hello, listener. It's time for another story. So, hope you've been well. So, that thing they normally say that one sign of, is it one sign? Or actually, love is symbolized by sacrifice. Yeah, that one. So, if I have a friend, I should be able to be in a position to sacrifice sometimes, even when it doesn't make any sense on my side. Because if it does to my friend and it will be helpful to them, then it's kind of it's not actually not kinda. It is my obligation as a good friend, if I truly proclaim to be a good friend, to do the necessary, to sacrifice. So, can I be honest? The reason why I am here is because I've chosen that path, just to sacrifice for a friend. I'm not here to talk about how good I am. I'm far, far, far from being that good. I'm a human being, full of my flaws, and I don't even qualify in the incorporation of that statement of goodness. Never. So, I, a friend, and one more person, the storyteller. So now we're supposed to be in a meeting in the next about 20 minutes. So we take off. And can I tell you something? I'm really finding out it being so much interesting, but realizing that there's a catch when an older person tells a story. Now, don't get me wrong. Doesn't mean that younger people don't tell stories in that dimension. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying what I think, what I feel. So, because I probably think the stories come out with so much details, a little bit authentic, and a little bit captivating. It doesn't matter whether they are fictional, they're true stories, at least they have a catch that is unexplainable. So now our storyteller starts of a story about our experience though. Some years back, she used to go to town out of curiosity, just to see places. We'll go, and because she didn't know town that well, the only thing that this is funny though, the only thing that it could be focused on while trying to retrace our way back home was Hilton. And apparently she tells us that was the common tactic of every other person, like almost every other person. So while she goes to town, she does her rounds, trying to see new places and all that. Actually, not doing anything in specifics, just seeing new places, only that. And then now, time to go home. She will just go retrace her way back to Hilton Hotel, and when she's there now, she's able to reconnect now on how she goes home. And that was funny though, because now you're only using one place. It's like what walks out, gather. You enter a room, you want to collect something, and you enter immediately, and then after entering you forget. Now you have to go back to where you're coming from and probably like even stand to be able to reconnect and like reconnect events and you those to see what exactly you are going in to that room to do, right? That is called that. So now, while she ended that story, my mind flipped. My mind flipped to our lives, our daily lives as human beings. I mean, we are living in a world that is really chaotic, and there's a lot of info circulated. There's a lot of issues, both actually political issues, economic issues, and also social issues. And it can be such a distraction to our lives. So in a place where you're soaked in a lot of info, in a lot of chaos, and you lose your bearing, how do you reconnect once again? How do you again come out and be in a place of clarity, like refocus once again? Where do you get your input network? Unapata wapi network? Unarudishia wapi network yako? Because you need to sometimes, when there's a lot of things weighing you down and a lot of things that are clouding you, you really need to once again rejuvenate and come into a state of what do you call this? In a state of, I don't think clarity will be the best word to use here, but in a place of, I will just explain it like we are all created for a purpose. Every person has a purpose, has their purpose, an assignment for every person that is given. So now when there's a lot of info, there's a lot of issues that are clouding, then it becomes a little bit noisy, and you may lose focus to your purpose. You may lose focus to your assignment. So to be able to come again into a place of understanding, into a place of like, I'm really trying to find a good word for this, to be really fully affirmed to where you're standing and know, like, this is where we're going, and have that refocus once again, and the energy and the push and the, you know what I mean? Yeah, where do we get that? It has to be in a place of our source. And where do we originate? Where do we come from? Who is our source? We have to return to our source, and that is God. God only. Hiyo ndo place yenye utapata network only. So with all that is going around in our world today, we need to return to our source.